Welcome to Think Alive. We're Sharon and Andy, just two people with a dream and a vision of restoring our traditional stone-built farmhouse in southern Spain, transforming it into a beautiful off-grid home and sharing our journey with you. Good morning.
Morning everyone.
Welcome back to the Finca.
Indeed.
And welcome back the Finca-mobile.
Indeed. so glad to have it back.
Yeah.
It's like a new car. It's had a brand new cylinder head and all the related ancillaries. We've changed that valve on the fuel pump that was causing the problems in the very first place. It's had all new suspension components because they were all worn and tired and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, it absolutely drives beautifully. It's perfect. It's like a different car basically.
Just needs a good clean.
We're gonna get it cleaned up now and look after it properly. I think in the future It's going to become the best maintained car in Western Europe. Anyway, so we're glad to have it back. We can now go and pick things up as we need to, and we'll crack on in there, shall we?
We shall. So I'm going to carry on with this wall here. Andy's filled that in now where the socket, the cable was tapped into the wall, so that's gone off now, so I can move across and get that finished today. And then the whole lot wants a second coat, of course, but first things first, finish this wall.
So the first thing I want to do is get a bit more done on this wall. It's all set very well. I've just spent 20 minutes getting the sprayer working again. We definitely need to invest in a new one. For anyone that's not seen, we're building a single skin stone wall all the way up here, and it's going to have shelves on both sides, useful storage space. I've got these in so far, and the gaps I need to fill in, but first I want to try and get another layer on. I'll build it up a bit higher, and then I'll look at filling the spaces and putting a bit more strength into it. So I've got a mix ready, I've damped them down already, and crack on. So as always with this, I'm selecting stones that'll sit naturally and touching the other stones. Just going to dip them in a bit of water. It helps the lime draw into them, and bit of a bed down and stick them in. There we go, there's another one. Keeping them in line, of course. It's easier to use your fingers as well than to use a trowel on this. Right, I shall carry on. Get it a bit taller.
Just going to wash this down as usual. Looks like I'm hardly doing anything, but we know once it dries it'll be alright. So there it is done. As I say, very patchy. Wait for it to dry, and then the whole lot needs a second coat, but we're getting there.
And there we go, fair chunk of wall done. Just need to start hunting for more stones again now. It's absolutely amazing. It never ceases to amaze us, the amount of volume and quantity of stones that goes in, even to just pointing. So anyway, next. So the next thing we're going to do is start sorting this bench out. It's going over there. You need some big chunky legs on it. I'm going to start with the back because it's such a long top and there's no support in it. It was just made as a temporary bench that we could temporary worktop that we could use, you know, in a bit of a hole knocked together. But it needs some legs. I'm going to put 3 big legs on the back, and I need to take this bow out of it to lift it up. So the first thing we're going to do is pull it out, get it on a flattish surface, and we'll look at it. So what we want to do is try and get it so the 4 legs are all on this flat bit of floor here. Obviously I need to clear it all off first because I'm going to be working on it, and I'm trying to get these level. So let's get it done. I don't know where we're going to put everything.
It's dusty anyway, so we can go down there, it's alright. Wash the lid that we used and
that's it, that'll do. Yeah, we can work with that. The first thing I need to do is get all this foam off. And we had it just stuck to the wall when we first put it over there. It was foamed to the wall, stop it moving, did the job at the time. But now it's got to come off. There we go. I have to move all these stones as well. Find a bag to put. Oh, we've got a bag here. Old sandbags make great rubbish bags. Right, I'll get rid of this. Right, I came, so it's all cleaned up. I've just tied a piece of string across it, and it's not actually that dipped. The front's far worse, I think. It only wants to come up, maybe a couple of millimetres. Or so, I think. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut 3 identical legs for the back. The reason I'm putting legs on the back, I can then fix the back to them on the inside. And we've got cable coming up there. There's going to be a shelf on the back here as well. It's going to have a couple of sockets in it and that. So by standing away from the wall, that's going to give me a little void at the back. I can run anything I want to up there without any problems. So I'm going to have a look through my donated wood and find, well, I need to measure it first actually, don't I? Of course I do. Measure the end ones first, see what we need. So handy, exactly 95 centimetres. And that's a handy, exactly the same. Must have done well when I built this. So I'm going to cut 3 now. They're going to be 150 by 50 millimetres, 6 by 2 inches near as damn it. So I'm going to find some and cut them at 95 centimetres, which is just under a metre. Right, so there's my 3 legs. 2 of them are a bit scabby. It doesn't matter because you're not going to see them. The only one that's going to be seen is this end one on that edge, which is going to be over there. That's going to have a cupboard up to it, except of course all the fronts are going to be seen. But I may as well use up these out of the way behind the scenes, so to speak. So I've got quite a nice edge on that one there. Maybe that one's better. Excellent. All I've got to do now is there's a couple of nails that I need to take out. So I'll do that. And yeah, get them ready. I'm going to just clamp them in place. Oh, I've squared this up as well, by the way, because if you notice, it was a bit rocky. I've just wedged it stone against that wall, so when I put these on and screw them to it, it's going to hold it squarer. They're going to stick out past the ends, 15mm, because the ends are going to be cladded in a 10mm thick tongue and groove, so that'll make a nice visible finish for them. So I'll get them sorted out. So I put my middle leg in first. I just want to make sure it's vertical, if I can't even see that. There's so much rubbish on it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Excellent, keep it all square. I've done that so I can see with my string that it is, and it's pulled it up to the level that I want. So that's pretty good. So I'm just going to clamp. I'm going to have to take the string off obviously to do the end ones because it's tied around the legs. Well, now I know he's right. Might just fire a couple of screws in it first actually, in the top, and then we'll do the same. We'll put the string onto this one and bring that one up level as well. Then we can fix the end ones. Right. Off he's inspecting, of course. Right, let's get some screws in this. Crank it up. Excellent. One. Get one on this end before I take the clamp off. There goes my wedge. Check it again now. One in the middle. Right, I'll just square it up again before I fix the middle shelf to it. And with this one as well, instead of the string, I could just measure that distance as well. Same whichever way. But it's actually very not wobbling now, so I'm going to assume that's held it square. I'll just check it though. That's made a bit of a boo-boo on this end. The top is actually sticking out more than it should do. Because I'm going to clad it, and I'm not going to be able to clad over that, I'm going to have to cut it off so it's flush. So I'll get the jigsaw and we'll whip that off. So I've just clamped a guide onto the end of the bench there, just to guide me saw down. So I don't really need to concentrate too much, you just follow the guide and get it cut off. And next, this is going to be my visible edge over there, so I just want to give this a quick sand down as well. So there we go, the beginnings of a mighty bench. Sharon's just popped to the shops because we run out of cat food again. They eat so much. I'm going to see if I can just manoeuvre it round a bit, then as soon as she comes back we can lift it into position. I'm going to make the rest of it in situ because it's just going to get too heavy. It's already getting heavier. I have to watch this limecrete as well. It's still, although it's gone hard, as was said before, it takes a long time for it to carbonate off and go truly hard, and it still hasn't. The bit up there seems alright, it's just the last bit that we did. It might crack it, it doesn't really matter if it does, we can always patch it up. As we've said before, it's the bottom of a cupboard. So as soon as Sharon gets back now, everything's clear, we can get it lifted into place. And as for the second coat of the lime wash, it's going to make that quicker because it doesn't need a second coat behind this. So we'll only be able to do what we need to do, what can be seen. So it doesn't matter if any gets on this at this stage. Yeah, so it saves us a bit more work at the same time. Right, it's in. The slab was pretty level actually. We've cracked the corner off it. But once it's surrounded by stones, it won't matter. The shelf's going to be about this high. This floor's going to be quite a bit higher. So I've just tested it, so it should work fine. So yeah, what's next then? So Sharon's going to start on the second coat of the lime wash over here. I'm going to start beefing up the front of this. We had a long deliberation this morning about what we want to do. We want a gas oven in here, mainly because, well, we've got unlimited choices for cooking on wood. But if we get a cloudy day or it's miserable weather or cold or whatever, we're not going to power for electric oven. We're going to put a gas oven in here, so we can bake our bread or roast a chicken or do whatever we want to do, with a gas hob in the top. We were debating whether to put the oven under the hob, but we think we're going to put an eye level one on the end there. That's still evolving, but in the meantime I'm going to put a big piece of timber across the front to level this up, and I'm going to put the legs in that's going to allow us enough space should we decide to put an oven down here. We can fit it in there nicely, or it'll just still look even with the doors. It will evolve, it's still evolving. Once I've done this, Sharon can climb on top of here and do all that lime washing there. We don't want to move it, we've got it super level, which is very important if you're having a hob on it. So yeah, next thing, let's get some wood cut and some lime wash mixed. Right, so this is our first piece of wood. It's going to be on the front here. It's all reclaimed, so it's all different shapes, twists, warps, can only make it look interesting, but it's not the easiest to work with. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and clamp this sort of somewhere near, and then take levels across the back with the spirit level. There's a big gap here, but this does want to lift up a bit. I'm hoping this is going to be somewhere near straight. Might have to flip it around a couple of times. So let's get it done. Right, so I've got it clamped pretty much where I want it. That's pretty nice actually, that. Trouble is, it's got a right twist in it. I've got quite a gap here, so I'm going to try and pull that back or make it meet halfway. It's supposed to be rustic, but I'm going to screw it through from the back as well, so we can't see the screws from the front. I'm going to pull this centre up on this bit. So first of all, I think I'm going to get a good fixing in each end, and then try and lift this up to get that flat and level. I think I'm going to pilot these through first, just from the back. Take it off hammer, just to stop the threads biting into this bit of wood, so it'll pull that one tighter. That makes sense. Right then, here we go. Fantastic, right, first one's in. Good. Right, I'm going to get another one through the top now. These have to be slightly shorter though. Different head as well, of course. fixed. Super. Over to the other side. Next what I want to try and do is pull this centre up. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to back. Take a couple of pilot holes through this piece of wood here. Tighten it up. And then fire a couple of screws in, hopefully that should pull it up, he says optimistically. I can't push it up from underneath because it'll probably lift the whole thing. Let's see. There it comes. You know what, I'll show you that. Try anyway. You can see that gap there as I tighten it up. Put it the other way. See how it pulls it tight? Fab. I'll put one in this side anyway, since I've drilled the hole. There we go. Now I'm going to shove a couple of screws through from the back. You see me? There to lock this together now. Happy days. So the next problem I've got, now if you can see this gap here, the wood's twisted. It's touching at the bottom, but because it's twisted, it's open here. In the middle where I've just put that block, it's touching. So what I'm going to try and do in the first instance is work my way along with screws to see if I can pull it back. Worst case scenario, I've got a ratchet strap here that will pull it back. But I would just do it this way if I can. If I work my way along now, a bit at a time, should do it nicely. It's not really getting it, well this will, hopefully. Looks like it. There we go. Right then, we get some screws here. The clamp's slack now. We'll get some screws in that. Hopefully they'll hold. I'll start by tightening these up as well up there. Wonderful.
On to the second coat this morning, working over here because obviously Andy's working over there on the bench. It's a lot easier, obviously second time. You're not having to cover so many little cracks or holes, or of course it makes it all goes completely transparent again, and but we know it's fine when it dries, so I'll carry on with this.
Right, so that's the left leg in. I'm going to do the right hand side one now and then look at getting these centres in. Yeah, it's going to be pretty chunky this. Right, so we've got this front in, but this shelf's giving me grief because the original legs weren't straight. Probably because he just threw it together temporary as a temporary thing that was never intended to be forever. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and pop the shelf out, and that'll allow us to readjust the feet on the front, the original feet, and then we can pop it back in. I think that'll work, so we'll give it a go. Right, scratch that. You can see the problem here with this original leg. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it, because I need 15mm at the back here. I think I'm just going to cut it off there. I can't take the shelf, I've got to screw it all to all the back legs, haven't I? And then I can just move this one in, and then I'll cut that and reposition that one in a bit for my cladding. Problem solved should be. Right, so if you can see that now, that's gone back lovely. And I can put this piece back in, just chop a bit more off it, and that piece can go back in underneath. So I've got my perfect 15mm there for me edges. Right, now the other side, same, only the opposite way.
There we go, spot on, if you can see that. That saved us a big job. It was going to be a bit of a nightmare if we got to take the shelf out, so works perfectly now.
Right, so after a little bit of fine tuning, it's all back together. The shelf's level. Our legs there are perfectly vertical, both sides, equidistant, which will be important in the future when we come to put doors and things on it. We don't want them all wonky. It's dead level that way, it's dead level that way. So now we can crack on with these middles. So next to on our next two legs in here, I'm just going to mark the centre with a pencil so we can rub it off. There. And the opening looks to be standard, I think is 560mm. We'll make it a little bit bigger, maybe 565, I think. So I need half a 565, well I need 565, half of that on each side, and that'll be the marks on my legs. What's half of 565? 282.5.
Well done, yeah.
Something like that.
Yes.
Okay. Check it with a calculator. So I've got my two marks there, and just measure down to the floor now and cut two pieces to go in there, so I'll go and do that. So we've got our piece. I'm just making a little wooden bracket on the back. We'll screw it to the leg first, and then that'll go up there, and we'll screw this through the back there. One. He does fit in there because we've just tried him. I can get it back in now. Oh, it's the way. There we go. Get him plump. But yeah, I'll take it this way as well. Oh, wants to go back a bit. I can see that from there. A little bit more actually. Lovely. Right, I've got a couple of screws in from the back. Smashing. Right, one in, repeat for this one, then we'll be done on the front, or on the legs anyway.
Well,
Alfie's supervising.
Yeah, Alfie's supervising.
Yes, he inspects everything.
I think it's passed muster, he's quite happy. Wall's drying out really well.
Look at that, the way you see it. Already it's going white.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Lovely.
Always, you know, this morning, as soon as you wet it down, it goes transparent, you can see every little mark. But yeah, a couple of hours and it's drying out beautifully, so that's good. This is looking super chunky.
Chunky.
Loving it.
We'll never pick it up now to move it.
No. At least it should be strong enough now for me to stand on to do this
park
wall.
a car on it.
Because this still needs a second coat. It's very, very patchy.
Yeah, so for now we're going to call it a day there because I've had enough. I mean, the legs can't take any more getting up and down and crawling in cupboards and things like that. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks to all the people that supported the channel, our Patreons and the people that bought us a beer. We couldn't do it without you. We'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one. Thanks, guys.